save your money and leave. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi peeps. Today is going to be a very important video for me, and inshallah it could be of benefit to anybody out there that can relate. Let's get straight into the video. How to deal with unsupportive family as a revert, or honestly, I feel like this can apply to born Muslims too, because sometimes born Muslims have issues with their family not being supportive of them doing certain things within Islam. For example, I know some sisters who their parents are not supportive of them wearing the niqab because they are still in high school or younger. But I have some notes written down, 2 pages worth of notes. So if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes because if you're watching any of my other videos, you know I can ramble. First bit of advice would be to definitely make dua. Always talk to Allah about what you're going through, even though Allah already knows. Allah still wants you to talk to Him. For me, my mom, she's like hot and cold. One minute she's supportive, the next minute she's telling me that I'm worshiping some person that's evil. She's hot and cold. But for me, I pray that Allah will grant my mom patience and understanding. I pray that Allah will grant her an open heart and knowledge, and I just pray that Allah would soften her heart and allow me to be patient with her as well. um but there are some other du'as that I had written down. um you can say du'as in Arabic or English or whatever your native language is, but some ones that I would suggest is definitely to ask Allah to soften your family's heart, to increase their understanding or knowledge, and to improve your relationship with each other, just like on a non-religious way. Okay, my second advice for anybody that is to grieve the support that you wish you had. What I mean by that is, of course, you would want your family to be there for you. That's with anything, whether it be religion or you deciding to move out or you deciding to go to college, you deciding to start a new job and you're excited. You want to feel support from the people who are in your family. And it's hard when they don't have the capacity to support you or they choose not to. It can be really hard. And my advice for that would be to just grieve. Um, of course, talk to Allah about it, pray about it, um, and just think about yourself. A lot of times people may struggle with being selfish. I'm one of those people. I struggle to be selfish when I need to be, but I'm slowly learning that it's okay to be selfish in some moments. And this is one of those moments. Like, at the end of the day, your faith is between you and God. It has nothing to do with your spouses, your friends, your family, uh, imams, me, other influencers or people that you might watch. None of them are going to face Allah. You have to face Allah by yourself on the day of judgment. So just keep that in mind. Like, with all of this, of course, this is worldly things that we desire. Allah doesn't want us to be sad and depressed all the time, but you have to think about where you want to be in the afterlife. That's what I remind myself a lot of the times as well. And I just have to analyze what I did. I analyzed, and I asked myself, why do I want their support so bad? you know Besides them being my family, like if I take the fact that they're my family out of the equation, why do I care about if they accept me as being Muslim? So that's just food for thought, inshallah. um but yeah, it's okay to grieve and to be sad about your family not being there for you. So give yourself time, give yourself grace. But at the end of the day, you can always change that. So that leads me to my third tip or advice, which is to, oh, before I even move on to that, actually, yeah, before I even move on to that, don't compare yourself, don't compare your situation to others, and definitely do not allow your journey and your desire to worship Allah be dependent solely on, like I said, a spouse, a friend, family member, imams, other influencers. Focus on doing things for the sake of Allah, and think about and really feel it inside. It's one thing to say it, but to really feel it, that takes time. So do that. But the next point that I have, the third bit of advice, is to create a support system outside of your family. I had to do that personally because, like I said, my mom, when I first reverted, she cried, and I thought it was odd, because I feel like she was just being dramatic. But when I talked to my mother, she said that she was hurt because, and then this is another thing, like I said, my mom, she does not know a lot about Islam, and she does not choose to learn about it. And when I first reverted, my mom, the first thing she said was, "So I'm going to," she said that she asked me if I was going to get married and be a second wife or a third wife and have a bunch of kids following behind me. That's what my mother said when I first reverted. And I told her, and I said, that's not even a part of my character. Like, that's not something that I would ever want for myself. No shade to anybody that's in that situation, but that's just something that I did not want for myself. So I asked her, I said, why would you think that I would want to do that to myself? Why can't why can't it just be a relationship with God? Like, why are you talking about worldly things because I chose a different religion than the previous religion that I was? And if you're new here, I'm gonna have my revert story listed somewhere up here or in the description box. But I used to identify as a Baptist Christian before I became Muslim. Um, so yeah, I just asked my mom that. But I knew from that response from her that I had to find and create my own support system. And honestly, before I even became Muslim, I knew I did not think that my mother would be in my life after I moved out because of how toxic the environment was before I even became Muslim, just with little things. So for me, I already had this mindset of I'm going to create my own family, and it doesn't even have to be like with my spouse. It could literally just be like friends and people that I have in my circle that I know are going to be there for me. They're going to be real with me, but they're also going to support me when needed. So I would suggest, creating a support system outside of your family. And how you could do that, the number one way, I would definitely say go to the masjid. Um, but when you go to the masjid, go to there. Usually masjids have halakas. They will some have events for reverts, some have events for sisters, and um, if your masjid doesn't have those, try to see if they volunteer or have any volunteer opportunities. That's something that I did. Uh, Subhanallah, excuse me. I started volunteering before I became Muslim. Actually, I started volunteering at the masjid because I just went on their website, and then I saw the postings for when they had different volunteer opportunities. And after a while of going, people started to notice me. And I would also put myself out there because I'm a very reserved and shy person. But I went into this with an intention of, just being open minded. And I wouldn't say like I wasn't in the masjid searching for people, but like I was just mindful, and I was just mindful of what I was doing and why I was doing it, basically. Oh, also another thing, visit different masjids too. They might have more events than others. If you live in a country town, I know how it is to live in a country town where there's like barely anything, or a small city. So for that, I would say honestly, if you're old enough, move, uh, or go to a surrounding city, like to drive there if you can. But if you can't, and it's really like weighing down on you, definitely move. I'm a little biased because I'm a big advocate for leaving your city, leaving your hometown just to grow in general. Like, I'm very big on that. Like, if you don't feel like you're growing, or you don't feel like you can prosper in the city that you're currently living in, I'll be quick to tell somebody to move if they're old enough. Save your money and leave. But I'm a little biased because I like moving around. But yeah, visit different masjids, attend different sisters halakas, volunteer, and definitely be patient with yourself and be genuine. Like, be yourself. I know it can be hard, especially as somebody who is quiet, to put yourself out there. Just take baby steps, and at the end of the day, Allah is the best of Allah is the best of all planners. If Allah wants it to happen, if Allah wants it to happen, it will happen. So just give yourself grace, but be mindful and intentional with what you do. The next bit of advice. So if you're old enough, um, and you are able to work, I would definitely say stack your money and change your environment. And sometimes you have to shift where you're at in order to grow. Sometimes when you come from a city, especially a small town or a small city that everybody knows everybody, it's like when you are different in general, whether it be religiously or just, you might have a different style than everybody. You might have a different way of carrying yourself than everybody. Change is good. We're human. We're supposed to change. We change, especially if you're a woman. You change every month when you have your menstrual. That's your body changing. So change is good. It's okay to change your environment. It's okay to move around. And even if you move somewhere and that isn't what you thought it was, pack your stuff and move again. You might find someplace cheaper, actually. I might have to make this a second part. I'm gonna make this a second part. That is all I have for y'all today. This is just gonna be the first part, so I will upload the second part very soon. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Assalamu alaikum.